In those ancient, small groups where survival depended entirely on cooperation. The meaning of fraud was not like today's financial scams. For them, to cheat meant not sharing in the hunt, taking unfair advantage of others' labor, or lying to the group. These societies were very small. Here, law meant social consensus. If a person committed fraud, they did not face a prison or a fine, but a much more severe consequence. Community ostracism. In prehistoric times, deception was considered a threat to life. Imagine a group has worked hard to hunt a wild buffalo. If someone does not do their share of the work but still steals a large portion of the meat, it becomes an existential crisis for the group. Such behavior was considered antisocial. To prevent this, they used the following methods. Gossip and ridicule. This was the first weapon. Anyone acting selfishly would be made an object of mockery in group gatherings. They would not be allowed to sit near the fire. Ostracism. If ridicule failed, the person would be completely ignored. In primitive life, being separated from the group meant certain death. Without the group's protection, surviving alone was nearly impossible. Corporal punishment. If the crime was violent or repeated, the group might physically punish the individual. In some places, a spear wound was inflicted, a warning that also incapacitated them for a while. That if a person repeatedly broke the group's rules, the group's harshest decision was to exile them. This was equivalent to today's death penalty. A lone human needed the group to find food, avoid wild predators, and survive the cold. Exile meant death by starvation or exposure. This punishment was so terrifying that it forced most members to stay within the rules. In modern society, we send fraudsters to jail or impose fines, but in ancient times, trust was the only currency. Scientists believe that the human brain evolved specifically to recognize who is cheating us. We have been experts at spotting cheaters since ancient times because for our ancestors, fraud wasn't just a loss of money, it was the end of life. Conclusion. So, did the cavemen have a punishment for fraud? Yes, but it was not legal, it was existential. Their punishment was losing the love and support of the group. For a creature whose entire strength lay in its group, what could be a greater punishment than that? Author's note. This script helps in understanding how human morality and laws gradually evolved. Justice in prehistoric societies was not for retribution, but to maintain group unity. Reflection. The shift after the agricultural revolution. As we discussed, the agricultural revolution fundamentally transformed this dynamic. The concept of property. In hunter-gatherer societies, everything was shared. With agriculture, the concepts of grain silos and land ownership emerged, giving birth to new crimes like theft and border disputes. Rise of anonymous societies. Unlike small groups where everyone knew each other, agricultural societies saw population growth. Trust was no longer guaranteed, leading to the need for formal laws and written codes, like the Code of Hammurabi. Centralization of power. Justice moved from the group to the chief, or king. Punishments became state-sanctioned rather than community-driven.